From 10,000 feet in the air, an eagle can scan over 3 square miles in 1 instant and spot something as tiny as a bunny scampering across to the safety of a shrub. This is what we see. Wow, right? But what happens if we put the same eagle in, let's say, busy New York City intersection, with cars honking, people bustling this way and that, lights flashing? This same eagle, with a seemingly bionic vision, completely freaks out. And you put him in the dark, sees less than we do. What happened to this eagle-eye vision? Well, you see, it's that this bird's brain is designed to distinguish between the finest of motions, but from a distance. The bird's brain and eyes are designed to discern that fine detail in the sunshine. You bring that kaleidoscope of color and motion up close, he's completely overwhelmed. And you take away the light, put him in the dark, he hunkers down and waits it out. We as humans are really not all that different. So often, and we may not recognize it at the moment, we have our own kaleidoscope that we carry with us, either physically or emotionally, or both. And that brings us so close to our daily grind that sometimes we can't differentiate or separate ourselves from all the chaos in our daily day. We have our busy schedules so hectic that often we let disinterest or ignorance set blinders for us. We lose sight of where we're going and then forget what to do if we even get there. The result, we're frustrated with all these distractions, and we forget instead to enjoy where we are now. What if we had a life of balance, calm, freedom? By this I mean not go past the birthdays and the anniversaries, or forgetting about the book where you've got the dog-eared page 7 that's been sitting on your nightstand for the last, 7 months? That sound familiar? Peaceful. A life with no regrets for having missed the things you thought you did not have time for. Time, gosh. You know, time. Seems like this time thing kept coming up in my life. Time to do groceries, time to pay bills, time. Ugh! I felt like I was the eagle in the middle of this busy, crazy traffic jam. Do you know what I'm talking about? So I knew I had to do something about it. But let's start the meeting. What is time anyway, right? Well, Webster defines time as a measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or a condition exists or continues. That's it? This is what all the fuss is about? You're kidding me, right? So we're just supposed to sit back in the shadows of time as it just merrily flashes past in a unidirectional parade of its own. Yeah, that didn't sit so well for me. People that know me might say I'm a little bit of a control freak. And I decided no, I wanted to lead my own parade. But how do I do that? So in 2016, I started asking people around me about their insights of time. And I liked what I heard. So I started asking more people, lots more people in all walks of life, from teenagers to octogenarians, everything between and beyond. Surprisingly, I started seeing a pattern that was lightening my life. And I realized that I could actually use time in my favor. So I started going more into it. I went into social media, online surveys, paper surveys, and still my favorite, the one-on-one interviews. With each, I asked from the very beginning the same set of 3 questions, and I logged all the responses I could get. And then it hit me. I had found something akin to a time machine. Now hold on, this is not a time machine where I'm running away from hungry dinosaurs, or that coincidentally I may have picked the right numbers to next week's Powerball. Yeah, I saw that's where some of you were going. No, rather, this is a mechanism that can put you back into the driver's seat of your now. So we're going to talk about the blueprint of this time machine. You ready? So question 1, what does time mean to you? I had told you that I really love the one-on-ones, right? It's because I could see the reactions. I stood out, they were like, okay, we'll do something. All of a sudden, I get this deer in the headlights look, right? What does time mean to you? But within seconds, there was a sudden shift to introspective, philosophical, introspective, just thinking. And within another few seconds, the floodgates would open. And I was only asking for 1 or 2 sentences in response, and suddenly my newfound experts, well, I couldn't shut them down. Feelings mark time better than clocks, watches, and calendars, says Alex. And a completely unsolicited, but totally fantastic 522 response. 522 words. Initially, I had thought that my answers would get come back with clocks and watch, a lot of those incremental moments. Since the Bronze Age, after all, about 5,000 years ago, humans have been tracking time. Not at all. People were giving a much deeper language to this. They had much more to say. And the few that did use these terms instead cast it aside as some kind of mankind's invention. Something going very quickly, luxury, burden, challenge, ability to live, something very valuable. And the list goes on. Some people felt it was abilities, potential, something gained, something lost, limitations, a treasure to be given as well as received, but never bought. There were some that felt it was a constant in their lives. Others, no, it's a shifting cycle of constantly shifting cycle, value throughout our lives. There were those that felt only they were in control of their time, others that had given up any semblance of what we call time management. So what does this all mean? Consider this bucket of water. As it stands there, the water actually means nothing. It's not until you want it, use it, need it, or it touches you in some way that this changes. It could be you could be bringing it up to your dry, parched lips to quench your thirst. Or angrily bucketing out all the stuff out of your flooding basement. Or it could be just one of millions of gallons of water upon your ship floats as you sail across the rippling waves of a warm summer sunset. It's just water, H2O, it just exists. Its value or meaning to you doesn't change until you put value to it. And there we are. That's the first step to our time machine. That first key is providing value to all the actions that we do. What's important to us and what is not. So let's see what happens with the next question. What do you see being the most frustrating things about not having enough time? How many of you would say not getting things done? Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I didn't ask that. Instead, I asked for what do you see being the 2 most frustrating things about not having enough time? See, if we're going to build a time machine, we really need to know how to fix it when it's broken too, right? Now we're getting deeper. Much left done, missed opportunities, uncontrolled chaos, too old. Well, what happened here? We were just talking about how wonderful the value is, and now we've got this really powerful force working against us. Not enough time with lovers, with parents, forgotten hobbies, incomplete projects, not enough time to finish studying for the test that we knew about 3 weeks ago, right? Interestingly, many started pointing the fingers at themselves. I know it's probably my own fault, admitted Chris, a recent graduate, and it goes on. Inability to appreciate the moment, distractions, can't get everything I want done, I don't do enough things that make me happy. What does this do to our daily lives? In a large study of working adults, 28% of them admitted feeling overwhelmed at their jobs. In a nationwide poll of over 150,000 students entering college, 34% of them also admitted to feeling overwhelmed. we have a problem. Consider this glass. We know. Is it either half or? Well, let me ask you this. What does it matter? Going back to our previous example of the water in the bucket, the water at that point we were talking about the value. Here, we're just comparing it to the amount, right? What if, and let's raise the stakes a little bit, put in any libations you prefer. What if you instead just choose to drink what's there and savor the flavor? Let's look at the flip side here. Of these two studies, over 2/3 did not feel overwhelmed. It's about our choice. It's about the ability to have ascertained what is our value, and now we have the choice to believe that that is what's important to us right now.